Hello, my name is Sienna. Welcome to my channel, and I like to talk about relationships and dating advice and that sort of thing, as well as I have dated every type of guy so that you don't have to. So today I'm reading a story called Am I the Asshole for Kissing My Husband in Front of My Family to Prove a Point? And this one was interesting. I, 29 female, an American nurse, am married to my amazing husband, 30 male, who's Arab and works as a software engineer. We've been married for a few years and have one child together. To be honest, my husband is incredibly handsome. He's tall, with olive skin and striking green eyes. I admit I've dealt with some jealousy now and then because, well, women notice him a lot. We actually met because of his health. He has pernicious anemia, meaning he needs B12 injections every month for life, and I was his nurse. Over time, we fell in love and got married. He's kind, caring, and a wonderful father, but he still holds on to some Middle Eastern habits. For example, he refuses to kiss in public, especially in front of my family, and he prefers to keep a little distance from my family, saying that too much interaction often leads to unnecessary problems. I've come to respect that. It's just part of who he is. Recently, though, something weird happened. My younger sister, 25 female, decided to spread a story that my husband is cold, rude, and mistreats me, and that I'm too afraid to tell anyone. I have no idea why she did this, but my parents completely believed her. They began dropping by my house frequently, saying that they just wanted to check in and see how I was doing with the baby. After a while, my mom finally confessed the real reason for their visits. They were worried about me because of the story my sister told them. I was furious. When I confronted my sister, she just laughed and said it was a joke, but the damage was already done, and now my parents were seriously concerned. So, on my husband's birthday, I decided to invite the entire family over. I thought, okay, let's end this nonsense once and for all. During the celebration, I gave my husband a kiss in front of everyone. Now keep in mind that my husband is incredibly shy about public affection. He immediately turned red and looked so embarrassed. Later, after the guests left, he told me he was really angry. He felt humiliated and said that I knew how much he dislikes being put on the spot like that, especially in front of our families. I explained that I only did it to shut down the rumors my sister had started and to show everyone that our relationship is perfectly fine. Now, I feel guilty because I hate making him uncomfortable, especially on his birthday. But at the same time, I felt I needed to take control of the situation and stop my family from believing the nonsense my sister had spread. So Reddit, am I the asshole for embarrassing my husband by kissing him in front of my family, even though I knew it would make him uncomfortable just to prove a point? Um, so I feel pretty strongly about this one that, yeah, that's an asshole move. It's not necessarily breakup worthy or like it doesn't need to be a big fight, but I definitely think the OP is in the wrong here. And I want to start with it feels like this writer does not respect boundaries very well. And there are two reasons I say that. First of all, very obviously, there's the kissing boundary. If I believe that if your partner says, hey, in this situation, I can't have this happen, I don't want this to happen to me, and I'm not going to participate in it, that's their decision. You do not get to change that, you do not get to cross that line. And yeah, the writer in this situation was wrong for crossing that boundary. That was a very clear boundary, it's been there their entire relationship. And the other reason I bring that up is because they mentioned that they met because their husband was a patient of theirs, which also, I know there are a lot of rules and laws about that, and that one's kind of a gray area, I guess. I don't know if there's anything strictly about that because it sounds like he maybe came in once a month, right, for a vaccine, so it's not like she necessarily knew all of his private information or like saw him in a vulnerable position, but it's very, very close to that. And it sounds like he was a participant in this relationship. It doesn't really sound like he was coerced, but I do think it is an interesting detail that led me to that conclusion that the writer doesn't necessarily understand or respect boundaries. That being said, I also believe that there is a communication issue here. Obviously, we don't know how well the husband communicated that he doesn't like public affection, but it sounds like she has a pretty strong understanding that it's part of his culture, it could be part of his religion, and that's him as a person. And it could be that he's willing to grow and change. And if so, they need to have that discussion, and she needs to say, like, I either really want us to work on being able to have public displays of affection, or he needs to tell her it's not going to happen, and she needs to find a way to be okay with that if they want the relationship to work, right? And it sounded like she was pretty amenable to that, but just this one situation, she made the wrong decision, you know? And so I think the better way to have gone around this, I mean, the best solution is often the easiest one. I think she should have just said to her family, hey, I love my husband. He's a great person. He just doesn't like public displays of affection because of his culture and his, like, how he was brought up, or whatever the case may be. And I'm fine with it, so you need to be fine with it. And if you're not, we're just not going to be talking about it. It's over. It's done. I've told you what the situation is. You do not have to worry about me. And if you're just calm and confident and you say that, and if your husband's there with you, that could be helpful too. I mean, I wouldn't want to make him, if it were me, I wouldn't want him to be there because I wouldn't want him to feel like the family doesn't like him or doesn't trust him. I would just shut it down right away and say that your sister is overreacting and she too is crossing a boundary. It sounds like the whole family has an issue with boundaries, but that would be the simplest solution. That's what should have been done in the first place. And then if it was just about making a scene and being petty, like, I totally understand that. I totally have that inclination. It should have been discussed with the husband. The writer should have said, hey, I want my family to see how in love we are and how much we care for each other and how much we adore each other. Is there a way that we can do that together? I understand your feelings about public displays of affection, but I would like to do this. What do you think? What are your thoughts? What could we do? And just workshop it together. Like, it could be a lot of fun to just be like, oh, you know what? We're gonna do something playful together that we're both comfortable with. Like, yeah, I don't know what that would be like. It really just depends on what his personal preferences are with the touching. It is also a little interesting that for his birthday party, they had her family there, and I wasn't sure if she mentioned his family being there also. It's possible that there's like a distance thing, but he said that he doesn't love spending extra time with in-laws or family in general, which is kind of weird, I guess. But I understand where he's coming from. Like, I wouldn't want to spend necessarily every weekend with my in laws and extended family or whatever, but I'd like to see them often enough, you know? So, as long as it isn't like a you can't see your family, I don't really see an issue with that. I can see keeping, having a private life outside of your family is totally healthy. But yeah, those are kind of my general thoughts. Is just there were so many better ways to go about this and healthier ways, so why choose this one? It just seems a little weird. And like I said, it seems like this family has a little bit of trouble understanding boundaries, which can be learned. And I think as long as they communicate and talk this out and explain, if she explains what her thought process was, I'm sure her husband will understand. But I think he's justified in being upset. Top comments really agree with me. This one person says, ultimately, you steamrolled your husband's boundaries and comfort level without discussing it with him first. You pre planned this and could have had a discussion with your husband so he wasn't blindsided, which I agree. Like if you had talked to him beforehand, maybe he would have said, like, yeah, okay, let's have a kiss before the cake. That's great. What would have been the harm in talking to him? And this person says, why do you care more about what people outside your marriage think than what your amazing husband has clearly communicated to you? This was an opportunity to explain things to your parents and push back on your meddling sister, not upset your husband, which I totally agree with. yeah, that was a really important lesson that I learned in the relationship I'm in now. Was not quite the same, but I was really hesitant about making our relationship Facebook official because I felt like we got together really quickly, and I was worried that my ex-boyfriend at the time would be upset by it, because we had broken up like 2.5, 3 months prior, something like that. And I thought that was too little time to like be dating someone else and like be public about it. And I wanted to take a little more time. But when I was talking about that with um my now fiance, he said to me, "Well, why are his feelings more important than mine?" Because he really wanted, to go public with our relationship, and that really got to me, where I was like, wow, you're right. I shouldn't be putting, someone who's not in my life in front of you, who isn't in my life and is a really important part of my life. And so it's a story for a different time. It ended up being kind of a mess, but I am glad in the end that I did it. The ex-boyfriend did freak out, so if anyone's interested in that story, let me know. I will be happy to tell it. But yeah, I just think understanding where your partner is coming from, understanding their feelings, and being willing to compromise is what should have happened here and what should happen in every relationship. And then, yeah, just being willing to defend your partner in tough situations is also important, because as important as your family is and as much as you love them, you are choosing to be with your partner, and you, you should be willing to back them up. If you really know that nothing is wrong in your relationship and you really believe that and you feel safe and happy, that should be projected out to other people, and you should feel confident in telling other people. And like the last comment said, why are you more concerned about what other people think rather than what your husband thinks? Because that how you two feel and how you interact should be the most important thing, right? That's going to be it for now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Feel free to share any interesting in-law stories, or was there ever a miscommunication where someone on the outside thought something crazy was happening in your relationship? Feel free to let me know. If you do not feel like leaving a story or an opinion, please leave let's see, we'll do a fox or cat emoji in the comments. Sounds good. Alright, so thank you for making it this far if you did. Feel free to send me any stories that you see, or let me know about any of your stories, or if you need advice. I definitely want to set up at some point a system where people can send me more current situations and I can give more personalized advice. So feel free to do that if you feel like it. You can DM me. You can leave something in the comments. You can DM me on Instagram at Sienna Circe, or yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out. Okay, anyway, thank you for making it this far. I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or leave a dislike and let me know why. Alright, see ya. Bye.